Hello and welcome back to Can You Survive District 13. I am here at the Tribal Council area once again, and I know it looks like I'm alone, but I'm not because we have a fabulous viewer area over here with our pre-jury and volunteers eagerly awaiting our final four. And here they come now. We have Phil, Aldrian, Kieran, and Patch.
All right, let's bring in our jury. We have Lindsay, Todd, Francesca, Nick, Leo, Jess, and Rita voted out at our last tribal council. All right, final four. Congratulations. Congratulations to you, Phil.
Yeah, let's go. Yes.
Second in a row here. Talk to me about how the strategy session worked here. I mean, with Final Four, there's so few options. Having that necklace must have given you a lot of power in terms of how this decision went.
Yeah, this one felt a little bit different because I think that there's a group of us that had an idea of what we wanted to do. As we're just thinking about the idea that there's probably going to be another challenge in particular. And for me, I'm thinking about who are my best options to get me to that end if I don't win another challenge. And so for that reason, it wasn't as scrambly. It was more us sitting and collectively talking.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, talk to me about this sort of group decision-making process at this point. Ultimately, the decision's only going to work out for one person, but you all have to agree on one path forward here. So how do you all make sure that this is the right move for you?
Uh, I mean, we just kind of sat down and I explained to each person like where I thought my game would compare to theirs and how I think that would influence the next vote of taking me into a possible final two. So it was just more like kind of like Phil was saying, just like kind of slightly opening up about the games and then explaining why you would maybe choose this person or that person. Kind of just flowing conversation.
Sure. Interesting strategy. Aldrian, do you feel like there's an element of potentially laying your cards out on the table a little bit too early there? Or do you feel like people were holding back a little bit in terms of, what they've done or what they haven't done and why their games might stack up next to each other?
No, I think that we were all pretty honest. It was just like an open conversation, um, and everyone kind of just said like to each other's faces like how he felt about their game, compared it to their own, whether or not they found it threatening, what parts of their game was threatening, and I think everyone just kind of made their own personal decision based on that. But it really was just one big discussion. Everything was out in the open.
Okay. And Karen, what was your pitches to the folks here? Because it's a really interesting part of the game where you kind of have to downplay some of your successes right before Final Tribal, where you're hoping, whoever ends up on the jury is still going to appreciate you as a good player. So how did you approach that?
All right, well, look behind you at that challenge. We know I'm not winning that. So I just told them, like, take me to the end, like, or to final three. Like, that gives all of them a better shot at winning. But somehow that was not landing with them. But um, these two think I'm a bigger jury threat, which is very flattering. For Phil, like, with all the respect in the world, I don't know, like, with your argument, I feel like you should be taking me with you because if you're saying that you are worried about what your end game and how you would get there looks like. I'm not winning that. Like you have a better shot against me in that challenge than these two. Like these two are amazing. So I also did try to say that I think Aldrin is amazing. She's a badass. She's incredible. I think she speaks well, like et cetera, all these amazing things. Personally, I think she's the biggest threat, but they disagree. I can't do anything about that.
Okay. I mean, Phil, it sounds like you were the one being pitched to the most from Kieran here.
Mhm.
How did you feel like those arguments landed? And what is your response to that?
I think that I have a deeper relationship with Patch and Aldrian. And as far as if Kieran is in that final three, if either of the other two people, if the other person wins, they take Kieran over me. I think that there is a better chance with Patch and Aldrian. If either of them win, I have a much better chance of being picked to the final two with both of them. So playing odds, it's better for me to go that route than to go with Kieran. In full respect, as you said too. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Seems like we have good arguments on both sides of the aisle here. Unless anyone has anything else to add, I think we'll get to our final four vote. All right, let's get to the vote. Patch, you're up first.
Let's do it. And let us head away to tea time. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, let's get through it. And if I can get through it before Cam comes back, then I also have a special little announcement for all you fabulous viewers out there. So let's see. Okay, so T. So one of our tribe handlers, right when the challenge was over and everyone went back to camp, sent us a picture and said Kieran is practicing fire making while everyone else sits in silence. So it was literally just Audrey and Phil Patch each standing on a separate log, and Kieran at the fire making pit, just like trying to make fire, because they just wanted to take a breath, take a moment, go do confessionals, and then come back and see whatever. So Kieran was like, "All right, I'm gonna practice fire, and I am hoping that like I can like either pitch like girl power to Aldrian and we can take out Patch, or I can pitch to Phil to take out Aldrian, because she's such a threat." So that was like her plan, was just like, I gotta do what I gotta do, let's go. So Patch actually, after his confessional, and after Kieran's confessional, she came straight back to the fire pit to keep practicing, and Patch came up to her and let Kieran know that he was voting for her. And that was that. So of course, and because he wants a final two of him and Aldrian, and so he's not voting for Aldrian. So then with that information, Kieran ran over and asked Aldrian to tie it against Patch. That seems, from the tribal council, like it fell on deaf ears. So of course her hope is Phil wanting to take out Aldrian. Well, that's interesting because Phil, noticing that there's only Caribou crew left, so he doesn't have to make a pitch in front of an original, or like with a original Goddard member next to him in a final tribal scenario, is thinking, who of these people is least likely to bring me to a final two if it is a final two, because that's what he suspects. And he's concerned that perhaps of these three players, it's Aldrian that would not take him. And so he was going to like kind of feel out Aldrian and see like if he felt like he was going to take her or not, because he knows he needs to eliminate her, even though he would like to sit next to her, if he doesn't feel that comfort level. So it is a potential that he will vote that way. So we potentially have a tie. Uh, yeah. So Aldrian, meanwhile, has already been plotting, and was like, okay, like I this round, she knows that she's a strong competitor. She knows she's viewed as a strong competitor, and so she's playing up to Phil and Patch that she wants to win against a strong competitor, and she definitely wants to sit next to Phil and Patch, and like ego stroke their games and like really like do that. And so um yeah, so it's literally down to if Phil buys that or not, if it's gonna be a 3-1 Kieran or a 2-2 split of Aldrian and Kieran. And Phil has all the power here and he's immune. So yeah, crazy stuff. Let's check back in, find out. Oh, y'all, the grass feels so nice, but on my bare feet, I gotta say. All right, and we are back at Tribal Council.
All right. I will now get to the votes. First vote, Kieran. Second vote, Aldrian. Third vote, Kieran. Fourth vote. And the next person voted out of Can You Survive District 13. Kieran, that's 3, that's no.
The hardest part of this, I think.
Yep.
I got it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. That's it?
It's in, yeah.
Oh.
There we go. Karen, the tributes have spoken. All right. Final 3, congratulations for making it this far in the game. But we will have one more challenge to go to. So we'll get you over to the challenge field once that's ready, okay?
We have Patch, Aldrian, and Phil.
All right. Can we have the jury funnel back over to Ponderosa?
All right, so as you can see, a big triple hug there from our 3 remaining tributes. They just found out a moment ago that they will be competing in another challenge, which means it is now confirmed that it will be a final 2 at Final Tribal instead of a final 3. Everyone, I think all 3 of them sitting there hoping perhaps this is it. Maybe this is the end. We're going to be told, congratulations, you've made it as far as you can make it. That is not the case. There is one more challenge left to do. So keep it locked here. And as a fun bonus thing, if you want to join us for the finale, all of us here on campus are going to be dressing up in our most fabulous Capital Citizen fashions. So if you would like to dress up with us, feel free. Send us pics of your fits on our Instagram and we will repost them. We want as many Capital Citizens as possible ready for their close-up and ready to get into the end game with us. So we are super excited, an incredible, incredible final 3, and so excited to see who will make it to the final 2 and be seated at Final Tribal Council. All right, y'all, we'll be on the challenge field in a little bit for the very last challenge of CYS Can You Survive District 13. Taylor will be here as always, and we will see you so soon.